the tax authority's unique approach to managing tax as part of the senior leadership team. She also helped shape its first corporate plan. So Rebecca is now Chief Operating Officer. She fronts the delivery of their approach, supporting people to pay the right tax at the right time. She's also leading the WRA's work on designing and delivering future services, championing user-centered design. So raised and educated in Cardiff, Rebecca has spent most of her life and career in Wales. She's passionate about people development, and Women into Leadership is one of several government talent initiatives she's supported. So today, Rebecca will be sharing her experiences so far on the WA's kind of journey. So their beginnings, purpose and culture being a real USP, their approach, how they adopted a Welsh way of doing tax, a move to services, how they're changing the way they work and why, and the really interesting bit, their learnings. So reflecting on their challenges to shape their future. So yeah, we encourage active participation from everyone in the room today. So please feel free to share your questions, insights, and experiences in the chat, and we'll make sure there is time to cover your questions at the end. Without further ado, I will pass you on to Rebecca. So croeso, Rebecca, and over to you.
Diolch, Mike. Thank you. Prynhawn da pawb. I'm Rebecca Godfrey, Chief Operating Officer at the Welsh Revenue Authority. As Mike said, I've been with WRA since the beginning, and back then I was the Chief Strategy Officer of an organisation we were just creating. So today I'm going to start by telling you a bit about WRA and what we do, and then I'll move on to how we have shaped WRA and what our challenges are that are coming up. So try and click through these slides as well. So the Welsh Revenue Authority, WRA, was created in autumn 2017 to collect and manage two devolved taxes on behalf of Welsh Government, landfill disposals tax and land transaction tax. We started managing these from the 1st of April 2018. Our overall purpose is to design and deliver Welsh National Revenue Services and lead the better use of Welsh taxpayer data for Wales. So just a bit of context about our size and shape. We currently have around 85 people, so we're probably very small compared to others on the call today. We cover everything within those 85 people that we need, from HR, comms, finance, legal and policy, our customer-facing, operational, tax professional staff, and our data and digital staff. So just this will probably be of interest to some people. Around 25% of our staff are DDAT staff, and we are recruiting a number of roles right now and over the coming year, and you'll learn why in a minute, which will see our DDAT numbers grow. They're not kind of large numbers maybe for other people, but it's going to be around 20 new roles, which proportionally for us is a big number. So given that we're a fairly new organisation and small, I'm under no illusions that some of the stuff we've done and continue to do is maybe a little bit easier because of the size organisation, but it's probably still valuable to share how we're going about doing things and the challenges we faced and what we're looking to overcome, because I'm sure some of it will be applicable. Okay, so where have we come from? So when we were established, we basically had a blank piece of paper, and so we had to develop our culture from scratch. Now, we didn't really overly think our culture for the sake of our culture alone, but we had leaders who were passionate about a few things, and we carefully developed two particular things in tandem. So the what, like what do we stand for as an organisation in delivering our purpose, and the how we involve people in shaping this, both internal and external things. And these two things are highly aligned and consistent, and I think that is really helpful. So what do we stand for? So our approach is defined by three Welsh terms. Gweithio, that means to work together. There is a sense of working towards a common goal. Cadarnhau suggests a solid, robust quality that can be relied on. So that's about providing certainty, being accurate and reinforcing trust. And cywiro, that literally means returning to the truth. So it's about the way we work with taxpayers to resolve errors or concerns. So our starting point is one of trust. And we believe most people want to get things right, and we want to help them to do that, getting it right first time. So, for example, this means that we promote contacting us when you don't know the answer. We put a lot of effort into providing that kind of upfront support, guidance, and helping to prevent people getting it wrong rather than having to correct them later. Now, that might seem quite obvious for a tax authority, but it's not the way other tax authorities have approached the challenge. So this assumption as a starting point, that we trust people and that people do want to get it right, and it's better to help them out first time, part of us. It's reflected end to end, how we shape our services, our KPIs, our decision making. It's in our everyday language and values, and it's also reflected in our internal ways of working. So that kind of strand is highly aligned and consistent throughout the organisation. And I think that's probably why it feeds out so successfully, because of that strong alignment across everything we do. So to get to this place, we collaborated with our people a lot. We innovated, we reviewed, and we shaped it together. I think we took about 18 months to get to this point where we were kind of shaping it. And people really brought into it and excited by it. To deliver this way of working, our people needed to collaborate day to day. And as this happened, we avoided creating silos in the organisation, and we generated an environment where everyone knew and respected the other professions and worked together. So this created a culture and our ways of working that, I think, if I'm honest, have allowed us to do so much more and be much more than just the sum of our parts. And some of our best pieces of work are when we've come together to collaborate. So a few years ago, we considered doing a culture piece of work, and we decided it was a bit too early. I say a few years ago, probably more years ago than a few. And what we kind of reflected on our culture, and we've seen that our approach has become part of our culture, and that we reflected that at our best, we are innovative, collaborative, and kind, and that really describes what we do. So we've also got a strong learning culture. We know we.
Yeah, I'm in a meeting. You all right?
Oh, yeah, just touching base, that's all.
Just a word.
All right, I'll catch you later.
There's a learning culture that means we know we don't have all the answers, but when we were first established, we knew there were a whole load of stuff we didn't know, and that was okay. We knew we'd learn it as we went on. We talked about it a lot. We were open to different ways of doing things and adapting to new things, and we've learned along the way. We've learned a lot from others, such as Revenue Scotland, HMRC, Welsh Government, local authorities, CDPS, and many others too. And we're still thankful for them, actually, for sharing that experience with us and continuing to do so. So this learning culture means that we're open, curious, inquisitive. We ask for help. We don't mind getting things wrong. We always have test and learn phases for things, and we keep iterating. It's also made its way into the organisation in different ways. So, for example, we've got quite a lot of apprentices, and they are absolutely fantastic. This has allowed us to develop skills that we need in-house and allows us to support them in their development. So, for example, when we were first created, we relied really heavily on contractors to design and build our digital systems for go live. And we actually, reflecting on it, acknowledged that at the time we weren't great customers because we didn't have the skills in-house to be good customers to our contractors. And we also knew we could make efficiencies by bringing things in-house. So we decided to partner with the University of South Wales and join their digital apprenticeship scheme. And our first 3 apprenticeship developers have just graduated. They've been brilliant. And we've got 2 more with us now. So we like to grow our talent. We are currently looking at CDPS's user-centered design apprenticeship too, which we'll hopefully get one in January now. We've used HR, customer service and data apprentices. So we're really keen to kind of keep that culture going, that learning culture in different ways. And if anyone has any experiences to share of apprenticeships, particularly in the hard to reach DDAT areas, then I'd love to hear more from you. So where are we heading? So I guess there's two main things to mention here. We've got the new visitor levy coming our way and our move to be in a service orientated organisation. And these two things are really linked. So we're currently moving towards becoming a service orientated organisation with multidisciplinary teams who are dedicated to develop and deliver our services and continuously improve them. We're at the very start of what's probably going to be quite a long journey here. And this is quite a change of how we view things internally. We've always viewed them kind of as taxes rather than across as services. And why are we doing this now? Well, that's because of the visitor levy. So our two existing taxes they're both quite different and they've got different operating models. And visitor levy will be different again, but rather than creating a whole new third operating model for another tax and then maybe 4 or 5 in the future, depending on if we get anything else to do, then we wanted to think about actually, well, what services do we have that are common and shared, and how can we standardize things and do things once across different taxes? So we've got 3 services: registration, payment, and calculation. And the way we're going about doing this is to develop the new visitor levy through those lens, and at the same time looking at how we can improve those kind of service lines for the existing taxes. So we've decided to start with the payment service, and literally about 5 weeks ago we started that, and we are learning as we go. So what have been some of our challenges? So a lot probably, but we've dipped our toe in the water really with using multidisciplinary teams for things in kind of like a service team way, I suppose. But really they were more akin to projects. So for example, we had a debt service team, and we use those teams to explore kind of standing up a multidisciplinary team and working around something, working in agile ways, adopting all the ceremonies and methodologies, etc. CDPS really helped us actually get us on the right path for that. And we learned a lot from these projects. So some of the perceptions of and some of the things we weren't expecting to see, I suppose, the perceptions of user research were often that it slowed us down rather than added the value. But we always thought we were really user focused, and I think that's a reflection of maybe numbers of people's in roles and how we can actually resource some of that properly. And we know there's a lot more we want to do to become a truly user-centered organisation in this service world. So we're bringing in some skills we haven't had in the organisation before through our recruitment, and trying to get the balance of resources right to do that. And we're thinking of different ways we can kind of get user research and a customer-centric approach to the heart of everyone in the organisation in different ways. When we went live back in 2018, we did so with a large backlog, as is often the case. And we have kind of not really kept on top of continuous improvement because we were working through that backlog. So what we want to do now is by standing up a team that can kind of be enduring around the payment services is kind of get into the habit of that continuous improvement work and doing it kind of more iteratively. And I suppose we also thought we were agile, but in reality, we're just learning to be agile. So we've had a lot of people go through some agile training, but now we need to put that into practice and make it work in our organisation. And then I think kind of the 3 of the main challenges that are kind of coming our way: maintaining our culture as we grow. As I say, we've got 20 new roles coming up, then there'll be more as we get visitor levy on board, there'll be more. So we're going to grow and keeping that culture in kind of a different shaped organisation will be an interesting challenge. Governance in an agile, multidisciplinary services world and striking the right balance there, and delivering under what's probably going to be quite severe pressure when the going gets tough and we get close to the deadlines of visitor levy going live, and as we hear from maybe groups who aren't supportive of the visitor levy, etc., that will be an interesting challenge for us. So we're not there yet, but we've started the journey. It is hard, but why am I convinced we'll make this work? Because of our culture, because we're not afraid to ask for help, to say we don't know, or just try things out and see what happens. And in that spirit, we'd love to hear from anyone who's overcome any of those challenges, or who are working through them right now, to share our experiences and insight together. And that's it. That's it from me. Diolch. Happy to answer any questions.
Diolch, Rebecca. That's great. A really really interesting insights into life at the WRA. And I think that culture is the key, isn't it? So it's about, getting that buy-in. How, was there a penny drop moment for you in terms of getting that buy-in, in terms of that user-centered approach, working in an agile way? I think a lot of the blockers people probably experience at the moment will be getting the buy-in from the senior leadership team. How did it go? Was there a penny drop moment for all of you?
I think that we just started small on one team and we just let them go, and we just saw what happened, and people just saw it created so much energy, and there was kind of quick delivery of things. And I think as people saw that momentum and the way of working, it's almost infectious, right? You get into a pattern, you see it. So just starting on something small, so we just plucked something out that was kind of like the debt thing was a bit of a contained project rather than it being all of payments, and kind of started that way. So I think it was just the team's success that did it, really.
And how did you choose the individuals? So was it people coming forward to want to be part of that, or was it kind of, did you handpick, in terms of the people that make up those initial teams?
So because we're small, you need certain skills on a team. So it's kind of like, oh, we've only got one of those, so that person's on it. Yes. So that bit's easy. And then the kind of, I guess, harder bits are where there are people, you need obviously the business expertise on the teams, and there are more of those people. So it's people who are interested in it, who kind of have the right approach, I guess, to that kind of work. And at the beginning, people were maybe less. Now I think if we stand up service teams, people they know what's coming and they're more interested in taking part. But it's just getting people with the right underlying skills, I suppose, in the first place.
And Joe Carter from Service Works has asked a great question about avoiding creating silos in the organisation. So what kind of approaches did you take to prevent those silos forming?
So thank you, Joe. That's again because I realise we're so small, right? It's much easier for me. And actually, when we formed, we had an office and all of us were in one room, like an open plan room. We all fit. So it was really easy that everyone knew each other, and they just went up, the help desk staff and the data team, for example, would always be talking. So it was just, everyone was just easy and approachable. And I think because of the way we wanted to mitigate tax risk from happening, that requires a lot of different people to come together to do that work. It requires the tax expertise, it requires the content designer and the comms and data. So that kind of naturally helped. But I must say, you know, being small, it no doubt significantly helped with that in the first place, and being new.
Sure, brilliant. All right, we've got a couple more questions coming in. So we've got, our very own Peter Thomas, head of skills at CDPS. Can you tell us any more about becoming a service organisation and what that means to you?
So I think for us, becoming a services orientated organisation means that we look through the lens of our service. It's kind of an internal slant, because I think customers, well, I guess it's both. So it's an internal change because we look at it through taxes normally. So we're going to look at it that way now and think, well, how can we provide a better service to our customers? And it's understanding what is it that our customers, or taxpayers, I should say, really, taxpayers want to do, and how are we ensuring that they can do that, even when it cuts across different services in a different way. So it's trying to give them a journey, but it's also to think about, well, if we're doing something that can be reused elsewhere, then that's good, because that would provide a service that somebody else can use as well, not just us. So for me, it's just about kind of a different lens on things to see how we can make things better for the customer.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thanks, Rebecca. That answers your question there, Pete. Yeah, so brilliant. Thank you. And then we've got a Will Mead, so from ICS. So really great to hear our WIA is growing, especially in a UCD direction. Maybe a granular question, but if the user research was slow in the process, what are the approaches you're taking to gather user insights and using that for design?
So we are doing user research, but I think people just have, I think there was kind of a, oh, it's slowing us down. Oh, but you have to do it. Kind of that kind of battle, and doing it. It's kind of, as we've done more of this, doing it early and at the right time is obviously more efficient than doing it too late, because then you have to go back and change everything if it's not right. So I think we've probably gotten over that hurdle a bit, of that kind of perception that it slows things down. And if you put an extra step into anything, of course it slows you getting to the next point, but it's slowing it in a good way rather than a bad way, and it's not slowing the overall journey down. I think we had at that time, I think we only had 2 people in customer. They weren't even dedicated to user research, they were just in our customer team in its entirety. We haven't got many more now, but we've gotten better at that, and we are getting more in. So we are definitely focused on that user research work rather than some of the other stuff they were doing maybe, and that's been picked up by other people. And we have that general kind of appreciation that it might slow you to getting from A to B, but it's not going to slow you getting to D, which is the outcome.
Is there anything you wanted to add there? Well, how was that?
No, that's right. No, that's sort of really good to hear that. Obviously, you sort of saw that it wasn't moving too quickly, and sort of then resourcing the team, building on that. That's that's really nice to hear. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Thank you.
What's your role, Will? Are you a user researcher looking to bring that user research?
Well, I'm a service designer at the moment,
Yeah.
but I'm on the civil service fast stream, so I've been in placements and been a user researcher before. So I'm always trying to sort of shout for more user research, basically. Yeah. Which I suppose actually that does kind of follow into another question, if that's all right. You've you mentioned about apprenticeships and bringing apprentices. Have you thought about bringing in fast stream placements and doing that type of thing as well?
yeah, we have had fast streamers with us before. We're always open to fast stream placements or anything like that. It's just knowing like when to get them and how the process and stuff. But yeah, we're always up for fast streamers.
Yeah, great news. Cool, thank you.
Great, cheers. Well, yeah, if you want to, pick up any, follow on the conversation, then let us know. We make sure that you and Rebecca be connected. And are you part of our part of the user research and community of practice?
I'm part of the service design one. I think I've joined the user research one because I want to hear a bit of it, but you know, time and schedules and everything.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
Yeah, try to make that when I can. Yeah.
Great, but just to let everyone know, if you are interested, we've got about 6 active communities of practice at the moment that CDPS are helping to support and manage. And yeah, user research is one of that. We've got service design one, communicating digital. We've got a design digital experiences, and we've got a content design one as well, and an Aon is a recent one of ours. So yeah, please do I'll get my colleague Charlotte hopefully can pop a link into the channel just to direct people to that page if they're interested in joining. But if that might be a wrap in terms of the questions. So just want to say a massive thank you, Rebecca, to you for your time today. And yeah, just to let people know, if they want to give some feedback, we'd really value it. I think, as Rebecca, key message here about learning and iterating, it's the same when it comes to our events. You know, if there's something that we could be doing differently or running these sessions differently, yeah, please let us know. So there's a QR code there on screen, so please please grab your phones, and if you can fill in our event feedback survey. Should only take about a minute or so. That would be really helpful. We'll send a link to the survey and the recording in a follow-up email to everyone that's registered here today. And then just to let you know what's coming down the track, we're going to be joined by Link Cymru Housing Association next week. So a couple of service designers from Link that are going to be talking about a nursing home modernisation project to bring 3 paper-based nursing homes online. And then on the 24th, we will be joined by Ian Vaughan, Head of Product and Delivery at Newport Talbot Council, to talk about the cost savings and efficiency savings using robotic process automation. So yeah, really insightful session that should be with Ian. And just this is hot off the press, just locked in last week, a bonus addition to our series. We have Jason Evans, Open Data Manager at the National Library of Wales, to talk about his work putting together data from across the sector in Wales using Wikibase. So please, again, join us for those lunch and learns. We'd love to see you there. And if you have a project you would like to showcase for future lunch and learn series, it really doesn't matter how small a win it is. It doesn't even have to be a win. It could just be a huge learning that you'd like to share with everybody. Then please drop us an email at comms@digitalpublicservices.gov.wales, and we will look to pick this up with you. And hopefully you can run a future lunch and learn sessions with you. So that's it. So thank you very much. Massive thanks again to Rebecca for giving up your time today to give the presentation and to share your learnings. And we will see you all soon. Have a good lunch and see you next week.
Diolch.